This video is about the Leviathan in the Bible, okay? Hook and line, Isaiah 19:8, the fisherman who cast hook in the Nile. The Nile is the river down in Florida. That's where Eden is. You know how I know? Because in the Bible it says that the lower Nile had over 100 species of fish. The only place in the world that has the most species of fish, Miami, Florida. Hebrew H1836 is also found in Job 41:1. Draw out Leviathan with a fish hook. And Habakkuk 1:15. He brings all of them up with a hook. That's what Trump does. Another specific word, Hebrews, is in Amos 4:2. These are also in figure contexts, but the use of two technical words confirms that the method was general. Matthew 17:27, cast a hook and take the first fish that comes up, could refer to a baited hook, the art of war, or to another method still used by children in Galilee. A large triangle of sharp water snake may be caught by mistake. A large triangle of sharp unbaited hooks. A triangle like a spear, perhaps 2 inches across, tied on a long cord, is thrown into a shoal and snatched, sometimes hooking a fish. A water snake may be caught by mistake. Oh, that's interesting. And though the reference is not obvious, this is taken locally as a commentary on Luke 11:11. Instead of a fish, give him a serpent. Holy cow. First, a fish spear, Job 41:7. 2 words, harpoons and fishing spears, and barbed irons and fish spears, King James Version. The target is in the V, is a crocodile, reptile. But this method was more often used in shallow water for taking fish. Fish spearing from a papyrus raft is illustrated in the painting in the tomb of Semet at Thebes at 1500 BC. In spring, the large tilapia are vulnerable to such weapons when they enter the reed beds to spawn, but in such areas they are usually taken undamaged in trammel nets. So, I'm just going to read this really quick. Through much of its history, Israel had control over the whole Lake of Galilee, but this has little mention in OT, where nothing is said about its fish. In the Gospels, largely because much of the Lord's ministry was based there, it is important that the word sea was synonymous. Look, they call it ocean. The Bible calls it a sea. We don't have oceans. The bad people call them oceans. That's where they do their business, because it's like Caribbeans of the pirates. They can't get caught there. That's why they want to make a water world, so they can do stuff to us there. At least 7 disciples were fishermen, and lake fishing has special emphasis, except for the carp, which may escape from fish ponds and reach the lake where they grow big. Miami, Florida has the most carp. And the gray mullet, the species are the same as when Peter took them, including those already listed. There are at least 25 species. Intensive cultivation with manuring in parts of the Jordan Valley makes nutrient salts available in the drainage water, and fish growth should be faster. Since World War II, much research has been done and modern methods introduced, including protection of fry. Yield from the Lake of Galilee for 1965 was tilapia species, 304 tons. It just goes on about the fish. The yield from the river and others subject to rapid rise and fall would have been very small until about 1950. The Lake of Huli, though partly silted up, was still a useful fishing ground. This is now drained, but the fish ponds that ring the reclaimed area much more than make up for the loss. So the Israelites looked back from the desert and longed for the fish they had enjoyed in Egypt. The Nile fish were killed by the first plague. So what they're talking about is the evil people. Some people really were comfortable in this existence that was icky, but a lot of us were not and wanted it changed. the Nile fish were killed by the first plague, the first sickness. So, and this was enough to pollute even a river of such great volume. So when you get mass death of fish, it will pollute it. And it says, step over the dead people. The Nile has always been a major source of food, and various methods of fishing are illustrated in ancient Egypt art. The dense population of Lower Egypt its intensive cultivation greatly increased the area of channels available for fish, as well as making the water more fertile. So when we get rid of these assholes, our world's going to be fertile again. Over 100 species are recorded for Lower Nile, many of them edible, including carp, perch, and cichlids. The fauna has changed little since OT times. So, anyways, okay, one of the two biblical references is in doubt. Isaiah 19:10. Who makes sluices and ponds for fish? King James Version. Who work for hire will be grieved. Who works for hire? Somebody's being, let's see, media. They work for somebody. The other is Song of Solomon 74. Fish pools in Hezron. Pools in Hezron. The old Moabite city of Hezron is in Transjordan, more or less level with the end point of the Dead Sea. An excavation has revealed remains of pools and conduits. So the Hebrews probably practiced some form of fish farming. This was known early in other lands. Fish ponds have been found in ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, and they are illustrated in Assyrian reliefs. Romans became experts and developed methods of raising several species of sea fish, including mullet, rias, and above all, moray eels. This work needs a high degree of skill. The Romans also made fresh water ponds in occupied countries, and the monks' fish stews of Europe were their successors. There is no evidence about the fish kept in these ponds in Pau. Within recent years, fish farming has become an important industry in Israel. Oh, that's how it started. Where the climate allows a fairly long growing season, over 12,500 acres yield about 10,000 tons per annum, 1965, mostly carp, and much of it for the Passover market. So they eat us, we're like carp, and they eat us on Passover. This is an ideal fish, pond fish, which probably originated in Eastern Europe, but it was not used extensively for this period until the Middle Ages. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's a firm called Aqua. It's called Aqua something. Let me see. Aqua Fish Farms. And they are big in Norway and Israel. And they want to take look, this is what they do. They want to take every coastline and redo it. Oh, this is like that. They're going to ruin our coastlines. They already ruined Humboldt County. When these aqua firms came in 2017, they wanted the California government to give them billions of dollars before they started. Another scam by rich elites. Another scam. But the reason for this video, the Leviathan is Ghislaine Maxwell's submarine. Okay? It lives in the water. It eats many children. So, I just want you to know that the Leviathan is going down. Before Christmas, we're going to see the Leviathan go. And that is the Leviathan, her sub.